being a firefighter. It's not just about fighting fires. It's about focus. It's about energy, preparedness, being unstoppable. And when things are rough, I don't rely on just courage. I rely on Y Fuel. Y Fuel, Blue Taps, our all new flavor. Whether you're fighting real fires or playing through the fire and the flames, you will have enough energy. Now approved by Plastic Instruments Monthly.
Hey guys, Matt Money here, and welcome back to another episode of Plastic Instruments Monthly. With the heat of summer fading and Halloween just now freshly passed, we've got a couple of song releases in September to comb through. Luckily for the runtime, it's looking pretty light this time around, so let's take a sip from our Y Fuel and get straight into it. We'll start off with Wasted CH, the only artist to drop multiple songs with Hatophobia VGH and Lifetime. Both of these songs offer a really intense tapping challenge, with Hatophobia in particular also featuring moments of intense strumming and teleporting. As far as the audio goes, both songs offer a similar oppressive and dark, almost choked type of energy, as well as pretty similar runtimes, about 3 minutes for both songs. In the end, it's two songs filed under way too hard for me to play, but I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who could tackle these. Moving on to Random Household Object now, whose crusade to make me say long song titles continues. This time, it's Easy Reel, Wiggly's apocalyptic crash-out Schranz remix. RHO's take on Montages' original ups the intensity on the audio side of things, and also does mix up the chart a fair bit. Even still, the difficulty doesn't stray too far from the original, making for a unique but still comparable experience. Good job, RHO. We'll keep the remix train moving with Chicorino, who makes their first appearance in these videos with an interesting take on Solus 5 Fatalism, builds it out into its own cute little song, complete with solo. It's a fairly short affair at only 1:30 in length, but hey, it makes for a fun, quick tapping and teleporting challenge that won't completely melt your fingers. Overall, it's pretty neat. Let's check in with Stability next, with a very quick 32-34 notes, a tribute to the similarly named Preb song. With double the notes, a hard and medium chart, and a genuinely insane level of difficulty on its expert chart, this one is definitely for the daring out there. Like Chicorino's Fatalism remix, the song also hangs out at that 1:30 mark, but you will be begging for air the entire time here. Approach with caution. And finally, we'll touch on me. Hey, I dropped a decent amount of songs in September, but only one really charted. Winter Heat. It's probably, scratch that, definitely the easiest song on offer today, being way more intense in its audio than anything else. Speed up potential, mayhaps? Either way, if you're looking for a break from some of the finger melters on offer today, maybe come check this one out. Who knows, if college stops choking me to death, maybe I can drop some more charts. And with that, we've wrapped up all the customs for today. Like I said in the beginning, it's pretty lean this time around, not a ton of songs. Here's your monthly reminder about CTP 17. We are still looking for more people. As always, all the relevant links are down in the description below. This is Matt Money, signing off.
What up, everyone? My name is MattJJ_, and I'm here to go through all the accomplishments of September. It's been a slightly quieter month, but we've still got a ton to go through, so let's jump right in. First cab off the rank is Bender GH with another killer run of accomplishments. On top of 2 insane miniages he gave us, Rewind Outro at 175% speed, beating out his own former speed record from August, Wolf Like Me at 200% speed, and Schloss 175 in the same upload, Solus 4's Solo of a Robot A standard strummed, which is a monumental 25 notes per second for 192 notes, an FC of Daddy Brother Lover Little Boy, also standard strum and almost as fast as Solo of a Robot while being twice as long, and an FC of Quiet at 135. All of these are monumental accomplishments in the strum scene and prove that Bender is one of the best there is. But if we're talking monumental, we have to mention Amber Sky. And how could we not? This month, she became only the second person ever to hit blooming 2.5 from Cosmic Embassy one-handed. Naturally, only a couple days later, she dropped the first ever Cosmic Embassy one-handed Tech FC, which is one of the craziest things we've seen all year. She also nabbed another crazy Tech FC at the start of the month, that one being Archwick's Aquaplanet. Of course, Cosmic Embassy wasn't the only groundbreaking Tech FC this month. Fog Saturate swept in and dropped the first ever Schmootopia Tech FC on his birthday, no less. This is a schmooey reclaim that stood untouched for so long because of how brutal Sorry and Solo 1000 are. But if anyone was going to do it, it was going to be Fog. Happy birthday, dude, and congrats on the FC. Next up, we have Elusive with a few FCs this month. He started off by FCing the full solo from Lunar Luminance 3 by So Inhumane, before going on to get FCP Remix at 185% speed, a ridiculous speed up of an already hard GH3 song. He closed off his month by getting a first ever FC of Ultra Synergy Matrix by Tanchiki. Now for another big name with a fair few FCs, with William CH being fully back into uploads. Just to list some of what he did, he got an FC of Winter Roundabout, a very slept on Jarvis custom, a Tech FC of Lemon Battery Plus, a Tech FC of Victory Solo J at 125% speed, which is a standout accomplishment, and an FC of the 8th Era, a short song with a ton of trills. Some great stuff from William, and these are just some of the best from him too. I mentioned a slept on Jarvis custom before, and would be amiss to sleep on Jarvis's accomplishments for September while we're here. The big one is of course I'm the One, the notorious GH Van Halen song, on all strums. The already brutal strumming section is made all that much harder when you consider having to strum the entire song before and after that, which has runs just as fast in the final solo. On top of that, he also got Eruption all strums, which is nothing to scoff at even when you compare it to I'm the One. He then went on to get yet another all strums FC, this one being Patterns in Paradise at 90% speed. All around some crazy work from the king of all strums. Next up we have Batata, who has really been killing it lately with all of his FCs. He started off with an FC of Infinite Ammo VGH Overcharge at 80% speed, then going on to FC Envy at 130% speed. A slowdown and a speed up right afterwards is pretty funny, I gotta say. He then closed off his month with a Tech FC of Flower Dance. Now we have a name that we haven't seen in a long time, Jarido. He dropped a bunch of uploads right at the end of the month, starting with a Tech FC of Soulless 4 at 125% speed, which includes his standard strummed Machinations A. He then went on to FC both Minds of the Man and Xenon, with the latter coming in right in just before midnight on the 30th. Blonded is another name who has come back recently, albeit having been gone for much less time. He kicked off the month with an FC of iDog VGH before dropping FCs of Trees of What at 125, Minds of the Mad, and Deceiving Paradise, all within a couple days of each other. The improvement is really cool to see. Keep at it, dude. Now most of the rest of these are single uploads, so we're going to go through and do our usual quick fire round. Now there's a couple big names in here too, so don't blink or you'll miss them. We start off with Carney Jared, who got an FC of The Devil Went Down to Georgia at 175% speed, a new speed record and an insane FC that you should definitely watch. Captain Mario got the first ever FC of G-Force on Yarg's default engine, a super steezy feat. Dan finally teched Destruction Armageddon, very keen to see the FC of this one soon. Ryansberg got the first ever legal FC of Destruction Armageddon 2, the oft-forgotten sequel that still slaps just as hard as the original. Alex got the first ever standard strum Soulless 4 full solo FC, a ridiculous feat given that Soul of a Robot A is in the middle of it. Goulat gave us a cool Pro Drums FC with Controller by Within the Ruins. Leo got the first ever Tech FC of Trauma by Two Hollis, a very fun Nitro overchart. Armchair Sam and Chris Body are back with another co-op drums FC, this time with Through the Fire and Flames but just the drum fills. Ania is also back with an insane strum FC with Avatun ++ 110, a brutal strum stamina feat he says is his new best. Quacky managed to FC Racing E from Space Race, which is one of the song's easier sections but is still batshit. Rakshi Boy gives us his usual low ghost fare with Heroes of Dundee by Gloryhammer, done on Yarg of course. Jake CH has a brief return with an FC of Murder in My Mind at 125. Maui dropped an old Scorespire Air FC, getting his first Nove Ruptus FC all the way back in 2022, but only just uploading it now. Asai returned to CH grinding for a bit, getting an FC of Dungeon Dweller by Jarvis after a very short grind. This is another one well worth watching. Chris Body got a couple solo Pro Drums FCs this month as well, getting Railmaster by Hail the Sun to close out his discography FC. Just Joshin only had one for the month, but it was a big one, with him getting Solus 3 at 150% speed, a new speed record. Ryansberg got another first ever this month, this time FCing Liara by Devin Hendricks. Lizard GH dropped a Tech FC of Just Monica. Captain Mario teched Skidder Smack VGH, one that stood unteched for almost 5 years. And Leo got another Tech FC, this one being a first ever Sarah Smiles tech. Phew, that was a long list. Guess this month was more packed than I thought. Anyways, we move swiftly along into our montages and minitages for the month. And like how we started off the main accomplishments with Bender, we start this bit with him too. He dropped 2 strum-focused miniages this month, with both of these including the same kind of insane shit he always hits. Next we have the return of the keyboard master Entropy, who also gave us 2 miniages, both of these doing a great job of showcasing his insane skill set. We move on next to Captain Mario, who finally dropped the first installment of Captage. This release, which he plans to be quarterly from now on, contains a ton of insane vaulted clips, as well as a few from more recent grinds, and is absolutely worth the watch. Next we have Cassie's Clips 1 by Cassie, a short clip dump that has a bunch of Soothsayer All-Strums clips in it, as well as some other cool stuff. And lastly we have Cybertage 3 Choke City from Cybermoth, which is exactly what it says on the tin, mainly consisting of a bunch of -1s and shit misses, but is still worth the watch. And now we get to move on to full albums and long charts for September. As always, thank you to the GOAT Geometric for providing all of the research for this section. We start off with a new name returning to the scene. Real Savage Alf, who used to be known as Scratcher SH, FC'd the RB3 DLC chart of 2112 by Rush at 110% speed. What makes this more ridiculous is that he did it on all strums. A lot of all strums this month actually. This takes the number of RB DLC songs that have not been FC'd on all strums down to just 11, and takes the entire non-all strummed FC count of all on-disc 5-fret songs to just 19. This number includes DLC tracks but not RBN. And notably, Jarvis took this number below 20 with his I'm the Run and Eruption FCs we mentioned earlier. Now onto some full albums. We start with Nor getting an FC of Rubber Factory by the Black Keys. This 41-minute long album has 7,600 notes, and while it doesn't have anything particularly brutal, it proves a good consistency check. Next we have So Serious with a first documented FC of the Waves 1 EP from DJ Waves. This clocks in at just over 10 minutes, but has the fun gimmick of using tricky tapping to mimic the effect of disc scratching in a few sections to keep you alert. Road Sounder 99 is back with a full album this month. He started off with the first documented FC of Human by Death. This album has a couple tricky solos scattered throughout its 38-minute runtime, but is mostly a strumming consistency check with a lot of BPM jumps that is typical for this band. They also got another first documented Death album, with individual thought patterns being very similar to the last one, but is slightly less note dense and clocks in at just shy of 40 minutes. Vark also nabbed a couple this month, with the big one being OK by the Fall of Troy. This 33-minute long album has just over 11,000 notes in it, and is packed full of technical riffing and BPM jumps, as well as throwing in a bunch of odd time signatures to keep you on your toes even more. His other one was Honeybee Hill by Alan Gogol. This acoustic guitar focused release clocks in at only 9.5 minutes, but has enough songs to qualify as an album, and is a good jumping off point for those wanting to get into full albums. Bradmaster also FC'd this album in September. Speaking of Bradmaster, he got a couple others this month too. He started off with Haven't Been Myself by Too Close to Touch, with this album giving him the very rare full discography crown, one that he does own for other artists too, such as Symphony X. He also FC'd To Our Forefathers by I Am Abomination, an album made complex by all the tricky riffing and soloing spread out throughout its 38-minute runtime. Coincidentally, this was also the first full album that Geo ever FC'd. And speaking of our main man Geo, he nabbed a couple sight read FCs in September. Starting off with the very coolly named Dinosaur Sounds by Catch-22, this 33-minute long ska album has 9,500 notes, and gets a difficulty from the strum control and chording consistency needed to nail some of the trickier sections. He then went on to get the craziest one of the month with New Wilderness by Corellia. This album clocks in at just over an hour and a half long, and most of his difficulty is a result of that, with some tricky chording scattered throughout. Of note, this was FC'd the morning after Xantor finished the 2-week slog of charting this behemoth, which is pretty funny. And that brings us to the end of my bits for the month. As always, if you have anything we missed, please let us know, drop it in the Discord server. I've been your host, MattJJ_. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Hey everyone, Party Boy here, back to remember the 21st night of console accomplishments for September 2025. Let's get into it. Starting off with fellow legend Ace Zero, who's still killing it as usual. First off, they got a Keys FC of Heavy Weather by Rainbow Dragon Eyes. This song packs broken lanes that are all throughout the song, making it the hardest Keys chart in the game, not considering the 2 key charts that are unFCable, in which this FC basically marks it as a full list Keys FC, as the other 2 are basically impossible in Rock Band 3. Next is an FC of Destiny, a very notable song in its own regard, with this chart being very technical, having some very tricky solos, one being very chimney based and quad heavy, and the final solo having trills that can be very chokeable. The last accomplishment for this month for Ace is a drums FC of Your Treachery Will Die With You. This marks as the third ever FC of the song, as well as the first ever without the use of a hi-hat pedal, making it a real stamina nightmare overall, then to pair with brutal gravity blast endings. Insane accomplishments as usual. Montages is back with another jam-packed month, so yet another speed round. Starting with Bark at the Moon, however, on GH2, Surfing with the Alien, known for its orange wall, We Three Kings, a song that's basically one big tricky jam-packed solo, Andromeda, packed with an annoying tricky bits all throughout the song, Fight to Kill, a top 100 chart with a very annoying tappy solo, and a song that's very chokeable throughout the whole song. He Sleeps in a Grove, ranked 98th on the top 100 list, paired with an awkward solo, More Than Words, a neat Voxtar FC, Eruption, this one should need no explanation. Spanish Fly, similar to Eruption but without the strumming. And their last accomplishment being Field of Serpents, another top 100 FC filled with some insane tapping, such as quirky chimneys and other parts requiring a lot of methoding. What an insane month as usual for Montages. Switching over to Nuke Issa, who just had a pair of FC this month. Starting with The Devil Went Down to Georgia, this song should also need no introduction as it's one of the most brutal songs in the series. They also got second place score-wise on another FC run, as well as FC in the co-op chart to round it out as well. They also got an FC of I'm the One, also another song needing no introduction, being arguably the hardest song in the series for the infamous Solo 2A. A short but incredible month, great work. Moving on to 456 Productions, who got a single but nasty accomplishment this month, that being a drums FC of War Ensemble on Expert Plus. This is an insanely tricky FC filled with fast double bass throughout the song, paired with insanely hard fills scattered all throughout the song, making this a very technical chart and easily one of the hardest Expert Plus charts in the series. Great work as usual. Now on to Kira with a bit of a stacked month. Starting with I Ain't Superstitious, a short but still recognized as a notable hard song, being on the top 100, with the song being one big solo basically. Next is Fight to Kill, explained a bit when we went over it with Montages' section, which makes for a very nice accomplishment. They also got an FC of Mayhem, another top 100 chart due to its heavy strumfuckery solo. Switching games and instruments, they got an FC of Dyer's Eve on bass, noted as the hardest song on bass in the series as it requires some very tricky strumming and timing throughout the whole song. Their last accomplishment for this month is another bass FC with Your Treachery Will Die With You, a song that's packed with a lot of fuckery, being off-tempo, and having annoying strumming and an annoying solo. Great work as usual. Now taking a look at GH Guy with another handful of accomplishments. First off is The Great Satan. This song packs a really nice and satisfying but still tricky solo towards the middle of the song. Next they got Not Again, a chart that ranks number 71 on the top 100 list. This song is modest for the majority of the duration, but the solo has some very tricky blobs that also require some very precise strumming. They also got an FC of Fate of the Maiden, checking in at number 70 on the top 100. This song packs another insane solo towards the end of the song, but they managed to do the whole damn solo one-handed for style points. Lastly, they got an FC of Symphony of Destruction on Guitar Hero 1. This song packs a pretty nasty solo, but since GH1 requires you to be silly, basically having to strum every single hobo due to the engine being busted. Incredible stuff as usual. Checking out what the legend Big Body did this month, starting with a 5-lane Expert Plus FC of The Beast and the Harlot. This banger of a chart packs plenty of double pedal throughout the whole song and has a nasty solo filled with lots of fast fills, marking it for a phenomenal FC. Sticking with that, they also got a Through the Fire and the Flames FC on 5-lane Expert Plus, a song that needs no introduction normally, but the drum chart has its own qualities. Overall, the chart is pretty repetitive, though quite a bit of fills and double pedal keeping the pace with the whole song that's over 7 minutes long can be pretty tricky itself. Great work. For the last of our solo accomplishments, we have TNZ, who got quite a bit this month, so we'll do a little bit of a speed round. First off with Force by Blue Fusion. This song has a nasty tapping solo, including some nasty trips and quads, as well as some tricky timing with the strums towards the end of the solo. Expert Mode, a song that has a disgusting solo packed with some terrible lanes and also some tricky strum timing. Leithen Tears, a song with 2 nasty tapping solos toward the end of the song. Satch Boogie, known for its brutal orange wall and quad zigs. And lastly, getting Surfing with the Alien. However, this chart is on Rock Band 3, but still paired with another nasty orange wall. Insane month, can't wait to see more. For our last accomplishments, we have the team accomplishments from Team Zephyr. First, with a full band FC of Eruption. A silly one to say the least, as the drums and bass chart don't have very many notes, leaving just the guitar chart as the main focus still. Next, getting a full band FC of Beast and the Harlot. As stated before in body section, though it is a different chart, the premise of the drum chart is basically still the same. Then to pair with a neat guitar and bass chart, it's one hell of an accomplishment. Lastly, while this isn't a full band FC, Nuke Issa and Sleeper Wave came together and got a co-op FC of The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Nuke Issa states this is the first FC of the song in 11 years for them. Both charts are insane in their own merit, so it's incredible to see this accomplishment. Insane stuff as usual from our team. That wraps up all the console accomplishments for September. This is Party Boy, off to crash another party.